the water represents the womb, and our water, our inner waters, you know, we're 80% water, but molecularly we're 99% water, which means that out of 100 molecules in our body, 99% of them are water. And the water that's within our body is the exact same makeup as seawater. So this is why we heal when we go to the ocean. This is why we heal when we take sea salt. And, you know, back when the ocean was much cleaner, they used to give people IVs of seawater to heal themselves. And there's so much I could talk about with water, but not only do we come from water, but we need the water of the ocean to sustain life. And the water that most of us are drinking on a daily basis is not the right water, and that kind of doesn't make sense. I think a lot of people don't know much about water, and if you do, I applaud you. Drop a comment. I would love to meet you, and even if you don't, I would love to meet you as well. It's very rare to find people who know about water, and water is very complex and very, very deep and very, very profound and filled with knowledge and power and intellect, and holds energy and is alive, is a spirit, is a living being. And the water that we drink most on a day-to-day basis, unless it's spring water, is devoid of all life. And the water that our body is made up of, the 99% of our molecules, is made up of the living water. So if you're drinking distilled water or filtered water, reverse osmosis water, your water is purified, it's cleaned, but it is devoid of all life. And we are beings that require life. We require energy, light, like movement that creates the life force energy of the water. This is the water that we need. So we need water that's activated and charged. And when we go into the water, we remember what it's like to be a child, because when we were babies in our mother's wombs, let me just make sure, am I recording? I'm recording, okay. When we were in our mother's wombs, we were living in an amniotic fluid ocean in our mother's wombs, living, breathing through our umbilical cord, but basically we were just aquatic beings living underwater, just like a fish or a sea mammal. And before there was land on Earth, the whole land was covered in water. We are living on the blue planet. So this is the planet with all water. Now we have some land, but we are a planet of water. So our ancestors are the people before us, the beings that evolved into us came from the water. So we evolved from the water, and water holds memory. Water holds energy. Water is like a battery that charges itself through the energies of the sun, the wind, the earth, the sounds of the birds. And when that water is alive and has life force, it holds memory. So in our cells, when we go into the water, we become more water than body, and we start to remember things. People start to remember what it's like being in their mother's womb. Some people remember being born. Some people remember past lives. Some people connect with other dimensions of water worlds, with water beings and mermaids and fish and animals. And try to connect with the water more, however you can, wherever you can. I'm learning more about water, the science of water, because I think it's very important that people know. And although I spend a lot of time in the water working with the energies of the water and learning from the natural abilities of the water. It's time that more people know and understand the water that they need to heal, because the water that you need to heal it really is like a once all fix all. If you have the right drinking water that's purified, filled with minerals, charged, structured, you don't need to put so much focus on what you eat. And the problem is that unless you live near a natural spring and can just go to the spring and drink the living water, it's harder to find this living water on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's what keeps people kind of stuck. And at the very least, if this is new for you, I want you to start thinking about water as it being a sacred element, as it being a part of you, because it is a part of you. It's where we came from. It's literally our route, our pathway to higher consciousness, to our origins. And start valuing your water. Start buying the best water that you can buy. Investing in water treatments that you think are good. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to my teacher Isabel's page. She talks so much about water knowledge and has so much information on how to optimize your water for, oh, there's a little bee. How to optimize your water for the perfect nutrition, and learning more exactly about that. But when you start to learn about water, you're just going to be blown away, because you will start to understand what we're doing to the water. And when you look at the ocean, I just want to show you the ocean again real quick. You look at the ocean and you just see how the ocean is like moving, and there's waves, and there's ebbs and flows and energy. It's alive. And what makes it alive is that it's free. It's free. It's not bottled. It's not captured. It's in the wild. It's soaking in the sun. The sun is energizing the water. The sound of the waves are energizing the water. The wind that's creating the waves is creating energy for the battery of the water to charge. The movement, the natural movement of the water creates structure in the water. So maybe you're familiar with Masaru Emoto, but he did some of the most incredible research on water to this day. And he showed that water holds memory. And when water is alive, like this ocean, and you freeze the water and then you look at it under a microscope, it creates these beautiful patterns and snowflakes, and they're all different. Every single one is different. And water molecules are so unique, they're like human beings. So scientists have realized that it's much harder to study water than they thought, because they can't just make one fact about one study about water, because it's the ability of water and the knowledge of water and the vastness of water is literally quantum. And so Masaru Emoto discovered that these beautiful patterns are created with this natural water. And not only natural water, but also water that received positive energy. So water that's in the ocean, that's in the springs, that's free, that's wild, like a wild animal that has no stress. No stress. The only stress they have is like hunting and fighting, but it's natural. So they don't hold it like we do. So their energy is pure, is love, is abundance, is freedom. They don't have any of this hatred, money issues. They don't have that because that doesn't exist in nature. So their energetic blueprint is pure perfection and it's unique. So that's what love is, and beauty. And when we as humans embody this frequency, love and beauty, we align with nature. And Masaru Emoto, what he did was he did a few studies. One was where he got 3 glasses of water, and they were all next to each other, and he had people going up to the water and saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And this is just regular water that you buy in the store that is, like I was saying, quote, dead water. It's devoid of energy. It's devoid of anything because it's been through so much that it's lost its life. But you can give life back to the water. So he's had the people saying, I love you to this 1 glass of water. And then the other one, they were saying, I'm grateful for you, I'm grateful for you. And the other one was saying, I hate you, you're so stupid, you're terrible. And then he froze the water, and then he looked at the water under the microscopes, before and after. So you can see pictures of how the water was before. It's usually kind of disarrayed. And then the one that was receiving positive energy is these beautiful patterns and geometry and precision. And then the one that received negative comments is all disarrayed and even different colors, like brown and yellow and like black. And he showed this, he proved this, so we know it's a fact that water holds this memory, and you can reprogram, you can charge your water, you can structure your water through methods like this. And if you go on Isabel's page, she goes really in depth of all these different things you can do as well. But it's really interesting to think about because we are alive, we are living like the water in the ocean. We move, we walk, we dance, we laugh, we have expressions. So that water that's within us is like the water of the ocean. That water is free. But in our modern day and age, we buy water that is packaged, that is bottled, that was taken, that was treated with chemicals, with lights, with different energies. Not loving energies, usually people or a machine or a factory just dumping and pouring and then putting it into like a little plastic coffin and putting it on a shelf, putting it in a truck, in a hot truck, maybe people throwing it, maybe trash getting thrown on it, people just not being loving with it, not being respecting it, not even acknowledging that it's alive, almost treating like a living animal like it's not alive, like a rock. So the water goes through all this abuse before it comes to us, and then it sits on the shelf for months, years, and loses its life force. It loses its structure, its energy, and the feelings of the water become dark and ugly, like the negative images in the Masaru Emoto research. So even if you can find spring water, it would be good to still upgrade it, to still give it love. You can hold your water before you drink it, tell the water that you love it, tell the water that you're so sorry that it had to go through what it went through to get to you. Thank the water so much. Send all of your appreciation into the water. And another thing that's important to think about as well with water and in our homes, if you drink water out of your faucet, the water has to go through the pipes and it has to sit in these little pipes underground that are old, that are rusted, and that are in angles. So go in angles in the dark. And that's not how water is naturally. All water in nature swings, goes in circles, goes in spirals, swivels. No water goes like this. Nothing. There's no hard angles in nature. So those hard angles are painful to the water. They stop that energy flow, that beautiful fluid nature of the water. And also in these angles is where bacteria, fungus gets created, and the water is sick by the time it comes out of your faucet. So water in our body is alive. The water in our body holds energy and moves, and this is how our body knows how to digest food and create proteins and nerve signals and how to make the brain function and the nervous system. This is how the body is so divinely intelligent. It's because the water in our body is the water of the ocean, is the water of the natural springs of the earth. It's the water that is charged with energy. And all the water in our body, in our spinal column, our saliva, even your urine, when you watch yourself pee, next time you'll see that the water comes out in a spiral. So all the water in our body is structured. All the water in our body comes out, it moves in spirals and is never straight. So that's the water that we want to drink and we want to put into our bodies. And there's many little things as well that are very easy to do and affordable. You can put crystals into your water. You can allow the crystal to soak in the water, and the crystal will bring the energy, because crystals hold energy, so the crystals will bring the energy of the sun or whatever the crystal was charged with and put it into the water. And not only do we need to drink more water, but we need to drink the right kind of water. So I think a lot of us are a little bit lost when it comes to nutrition, because we just hear, oh, 8 glasses a day, or, I don't know, 1 liter in the morning, 1 liter, whatever the rule of thumb is. But most of us aren't drinking the right water. And if you drink water that's been distilled, which means it's purified, or reverse osmosis, it is acidic. So it's acidic to the body, it's devoid of all minerals, and actually what the water does when you drink water without minerals, it actually leaches the minerals from your bones. So the water takes the minerals out of your body, and then you pee the minerals out of your body. So not only are you not receiving the nourishment that you're hoping for, you're being depleted from them. So it's super, super important to mineralize your water and to take your electrolytes, get the right electrolytes, and also getting water from natural foods. So lots of fruit, eating the fruit that's in season. If you have a decent digestion, if you're not having any too serious digestive problems in the morning, I suggest having soft, local fruits in the morning. Right now I'm having watermelon juice in the morning, super nice, fresh pineapple, something juicy to wake the digestion up, to move and to get the body going after sleeping all night. And some people say, oh, I never drink water, and I don't even understand how that's possible, but please take a look at yourself, your digestion, your life, what is your relationship to water? Why do you feel an aversion to water? You can't reject where you came from, because it will backfire in your face. So we need water to survive. So why are you punishing yourself by not drinking water? And what is it about water that upsets you? Did you have something bad happen to you in the water? Did you have trauma in the water? A lot of us don't really remember until we go into the water. And that's why the water therapy healing that I do here in Tulum is so helpful for so many people. It helps people to remember why they're afraid of water. And a lot of us have trauma in the water, and you can avoid water your whole life. You can never go swimming in an ocean ever again, but when we die, we're going to go back to the ocean. When we die, you know, in Ayurveda, they say that all the elements, earth, water, fire, air, wind, are a part of us, right? And we come from these elements. And then when we die, we go back to the elements. Our body's going to disintegrate. Our body's going to disintegrate into the soil, into the wind, and then we go back into the water. And that's where we came. And water can hold a lot of fear for people as well. So maybe if you had a difficult birth or even a difficult death, sometimes you can have trauma come up from previous lives. If you've had a difficult entrance or exit into this world, this will come up into the therapy. So remember where you came from. Remember where you came from. We came from the water. We're all mermaids. We're all mermen. We are all from the ocean, and we will go back there when we leave. And water is so sacred, and water is our nature. If you live in a city and you can't go to the nature, you can't walk around and go to the ocean or the sand, walk on the earth, you always have water. You always have the water. You always have your shower. You always have a bathtub. Well, not everybody. We don't have bathtubs here, but you can use the water in so many different ways. You can shower in the water and imagine in the morning, talk to the water. Water is a sentient being. So even though, like I was saying, the water has been through a lot, going through the pipes and being treated, and people put fluoride in the water is still strong. It's still the spirit of Mother Earth. So the water is very, very powerful. You can speak to the water and tell the water, wash away all of my tiredness. Please wash away all of my stress. Please clean my aura. Good for the day. Protect me. Help me to feel relaxed today. Help me to feel abundant. Help me to feel full of love. And help me to feel happy. Thank you. Imagine the water washing all over you with light, covering your entire body with light energy, purifying all the blockages, everything. And speaking of fluoride, this is the last thing I'm going to say before I wrap up this talk about water. Check your water. If you drink your water from the tap, do a test outside on your own, what's in the water, and if there's any fluoride in your water, do not drink that water. If there's any fluoride in your toothpaste, do not use that toothpaste, because fluoride is a toxic chemical. Fluoride is toxic. If you go to the dentist, do not let them put fluoride on your teeth unless you don't care about waking up spiritually. Fluoride blocks your pineal gland. It calcifies your pineal gland, which is right here. This is the pineal gland produces serotonin, melatonin. It helps us sleep. It regulates our hormones. It helps us dream. It helps us dream. It helps us see. It helps us connect to spirit. It's our connection to our third eye. And the fluoride calcifies that. It blocks you from being able to receive that. There's a really good medicine that you can use here in Tulum, or they have it in Latin America. You can probably buy it online as well. It's called Rape. It's R-A-P-E. And it's a pure tobacco, a sacred tobacco that you snort up your nose, and it purifies the pineal gland. So stay away from fluoride. Try to get fluoride-free toothpaste. If there's fluoride in your water, find some water that's bottled that you can drink instead, because it's really hard to get out of the water. And there will be more water information coming through soon. And just remember that everything that you think is so important is so minute when it comes to your purpose here. And that we only have this one life. And we only have this moment. And if you you've ever lost somebody, a loved one, my dear friend just lost her father recently, and she said that her father's been teaching her a lot about death. And she reminded me of when my mother died 7 years ago. It's crazy. One of the biggest teachings I ever learned as well is that really life is short. You really feel that when you lose somebody deeply that you loved. You're like, oh wow, I gotta do everything that I want to do now. All these little things. Why am I working there? I don't even like that place. Why am I hanging out with these people? I do bad things with them, or I don't like myself with them. Why am I not doing this thing that I want to do? Why am I wasting my time? You know, light a little fire underneath your butt to get going, and to realize that there's so much more to life than our normal stresses. And I know that a lot of us have to go through them because this is our life. A lot of us don't have a choice to just get up and leave right away. You can leave, it might take a little bit of time, but give yourself space to connect to yourself and why you came here. Remember where you came from. Remembering who you are. Remembering where you came from, why you came here, what it is that you want to do with your life. Follow your instincts and stop ignoring them because they just keep coming back, right?